Ahead and record. And Chaplain Murdoch, the microphone is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Roundtable. We're so glad that you could make this. It's an honor to be able to be a part of this. We're all going to be learning some good material tonight, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A afterwards. But I would like to, again, thank all of you for your hard work and your dedication. And it's a joy to be a part of this crew. Actually, I'd say it's better to say this corps, isn't it? And we are deeply appreciative of all that each of you do. And so I know that you want to learn more about WMIRS, as we all do. It seems like WMIRS is an ongoing challenge, but tonight we're going to do our very best to help you understand WMIRS and be able to work with WMIRS. And we totally appreciate the fact that we have this opportunity. So I'm going to turn it back over to Chaplain Minor and move forward. But before we do, let's have a word of prayer. Almighty God, thank you for this time together. We pray that you will give us wisdom to our instructor, wisdom to us, the learners, the students. And I pray that you will just guide and direct in each of our ministries for your glory. I ask Almighty God that you will be with some of our team that are facing challenges tonight. I would pray for Tom Smalley, Nancy's husband, as he's having heart issues and is walking through a number of things with regard to that. I pray for Chaplain Ken Van Loon, who, as we speak, has just gone through open heart surgery. And I pray that you will be with he and his family. I lay my brother again at your feet. We thank you that you are a God who is touched by the concerns and the needs of each one of us and our loved ones. And tonight, as we learn, we thank you that you are still on the throne. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thank you, sir. And thank you for that introduction. And of course, that prayer that connects us all together. And tonight we're going to, as I said, we're going to be talking about WMIRS. But before we do that, by the way, you'll notice that only chaplains have been invited to this evening's meeting, and that was very intentional because time for us to chat amongst ourselves here as chaplains. One of the things that is not well known that last September there was a ruling by the Air Force Legal Office and CAP Legal Office that when we are on an Air Force assigned mission, we have the confidentiality of an active duty chaplain. And for those of you who have participated in the first class of the CAP Chaplain Corps College, led by Chaplain Tillery and his team, you know that you took a class on what it means to have Air Force confidentiality. You legally have that when you are on an AFAM mission. And so now that is different than when you are conducting business as a CAP chaplain to CAP people. So there is a distinction. And next month, we're going to talk about what that difference is. And we're going to bring in some legal experts, a member of our chaplain corps who is going through seminary now, who actually is a colonel in the Air National Guard, JAG. And I got to know him actually at a briefing in Washington, D.C. for chaplains about chaplain confidentiality in the Washington, D.C. area. And that's how I got to meet him. That would be Lieutenant Colonel Erickson, who's down in Florida right now. But it's our intention to bring him, if at all possible, next month to really talk about this idea of what does it mean to be a CAP chaplain on an Air Force assigned mission, talking to active duty or any other Title 10 or personnel. We have the same legal status as an Air Force chaplain, and that is a game changer for us. It allows us to truly be backfill into your local military base. And WMIRS and the whole AFAM process. Well, we're going to talk about that this evening. About WMIRS is really our portal to serving the whole Department of Defense. And this AFAM, Air Force Assigned Mission, is really, really critical. For wing chaplains, I'll go through the process of creating an AFAM mission. What you're going to see is WMIRS is broken for us and has been for quite a long time since this Air Force mission capability was given to us. I'll talk to you a little bit about the history of it because it goes all the way back to 2017 and an AFAM mission that actually I was assigned to. And what you're going to see created for us chaplains, well, it was done in a week in a rush, and it is essentially broken. But what I'm going to do now is turn to WMIRS, and I'm going to assume that many of you have participated in a mission, and I will assume that some of you have signed in. Most of us, I know when I go to a SARX, somebody else is signing me in, somebody else is signing me out. So as a chaplain, I really, really haven't had the opportunity to work with WMIRS. And so that's the whole purpose for this class. For wing chaplains, as I said, this is an integral process that you're going to have to do to create the AFAM mission. For those of you that are going to participate in some of our brand new missions coming up, like the VA mission, I'll talk to you about what's going to be different. We're going to actually just avoid this whole mission chaplain process because it is so broken. And we're going to talk about what's going to be different about it. We're going to actually use a real extended, real AFAM mission, and we'll go through that process as well. For some of you, 37 of you, I think so far, have participated in the virtual command post experience has been taking place for now 445 days, I think, in a row. And it looks like it's going to continue for a couple of months more at least. And I know that Chaplain Taylor has invited you to, those of you who are mission chaplains for the disaster support, that if you do 7 days of service in the evening with this particular mission, it helps you to renew your qualifications. So pay attention. They don't expect chaplains to know very much about how to sign in and out of WMIRS. Let's surprise them with what you're about to learn. So let me share my screen here and get in here and share. Welcome to WMIRS. And I'm not a robot, and I'm going to sign myself into my own account here. For those of you that know that operations, WMIRS 2.0, look at all the missions that are taking place, and most of these are taking place in my own wing of Virginia. I'm going to go to that special mission 3134, which is the virtual incident command post for the COVID-19 response. Excuse me. I'm going to click in. And this is a real WMIRS mission. This is created by an incident commander. It's been validated by the Air Force, turned on as an act and approved as an actual Air Force assigned mission. And if we would go to resource sign in, sign out, these are the two incident commanders on the mission tonight, and they are perpetually signed in. If I wanted to sign in somebody new, like myself, if I have never been on this mission, I would go to sign in new personnel, and I would type in my own number. Now, I've already signed into it. I've been doing this for quite some time, and I have a number of days logged into it. I do something else other than chaplaincy for this mission as well. But staff assignment. Notice the only staff assignment we have, and I have, is mission chaplain trainee. Why? Because it doesn't recognize, WMIRS right now does not recognize our mission chaplain CAP support or disaster support. So even as a full up round as a mission chaplain CAP support, I still have to log in as a trainee because that's the only status available for a chaplain right now. So that's break number one that's still out there. I would type in my own contact information. My wife's name is the emergency contact, and you'll see here all the days that I signed in and signed out for this particular mission. So that's how a new person would come along. You as a new person would come in and add some additional information about yourself that I've already done. So I'm already in the database for this particular mission, but it's pretty significant that it does not recognize us yet as mission chaplains right now in the whole WMIRS process, but that's where we are right now. So that is an example of what's going on. I'm going to take myself out of this particular mission. In just a minute here, I'm going to move myself down. Another way I could have signed in if I had already signed into this mission is looked at signed out members. For those of you who have already been on the mission at least once and signed into the mission at least once, your name is here. I could just literally go down to my own name, click it in, and then just go back up to sign in if I wanted to log into this particular mission. I won't do it tonight. I'm not scheduled to be the chaplain this evening or on my other duty this evening for this particular mission. But this is the way a normal emergency services mission would look with a normal emergency services creation. You'll look under here under the WMIRS links under command. We won't create a new mission. Current missions, that's back to this list here of all the different missions that are taking place out in the world. And I can actually filter missions. So I might look for something that says chaplain. And you'll see that there are in fact 3 chaplain missions in my particular wing that are taking place. Actually, I'm on these 2 missions, and the other mission, the red mission, is something totally different that is out there. So I'm on these 2 green missions. These have been approved for me to serve. One of them allows me to serve at Marine Corps Base Quantico to support their chaplain program and to do funerals at Quantico National Cemetery. And we'll take a look at, and the other one allows me to do work with headquarters or the Office of the Space Force Chaplain at Peterson Air Force, out of Peterson Air Force Base. So we can do either one of those, and I'll just go ahead and out here. So this is what the chaplain mission screen looks like. This is the chaplain support request, and this is done by the wing chaplain. And if you remember the 265-1 AFAM process, we need a letter from the active duty or guard unit chaplain saying, or commander saying, we would like chaplain support, and outlining the kinds of duties that you are expected to have and do. That letter is received by the wing chaplain, and a chaplain would be assigned to it. In this case, it was a request for me in particular because I live right next door, or this was a request for me because they wanted some very specific support that I could give. And so I state my own state, the base, was Peterson Air Force Base. I began at the beginning of the last fiscal year, and I'll go to the end of the fiscal year. All missions are fiscal year and end at the end of the current fiscal year and have to be renewed every single year. The base POC was the Space Force Chaplain. His contact information. As the wing chaplain, I signed myself in as the CAP POC. And then I uploaded the important documents that the Air Force needs to look at. And what that is the request from the Air Force or the National Guard unit, a letter that endorses the chaplain who will do the mission by the wing commander, and the final letter from the chief of chaplains that assigns that chaplain to this mission. All of it has to be put into a single PDF document. You're only allowed, this is again, one of the breaks, you cannot put in multiple forms, multiple documents into this. It will break the system if you try to add a new document. So I would have, if I click on this, I'm going to break my own mission, so I'm not going to do it. But I would click view or upload the mission files. I would have uploaded that single PDF with all of that information into it, and it would have turned, that's all we needed to do. And then we would return back, and it would have turned the mission, put the request in with a requesting number, and that's the orange you see, REQ, with a current fiscal year date, and it assigns a number. That means that the CAP USAF folks will have to review the documents and ultimately approve them. When those documents are approved and the mission is, the Air Force agrees to give you status on an Air Force assigned mission, the mission turns green. Now, one of the other breaks is, that's all I can do. I can't really sign in and out of my own mission, except by going in through the back door. And let me see if I can make this happen for you so you can see that. So over here under sorties, let me go over and find my own chaplain mission. I'm going to go down here to my Quantico mission. Let me go back to current missions. Again, I can't, you see, all I can do when I touch my own mission is that entrance screen or that request screen. There's no other way to get into the details that you saw me get into into the actual mission that we're using for the virtual command post. What I have to do to backdoor my own data is to go over here to the far right under air and ground sorties and click on that. Now, of course, that doesn't, it says add a sortie, but I can't add a sortie. I can't sign in and out using the sortie function because one of the links is broken and I can't give myself sortie status. So I have to go back into operations or into one of the other things and try to log in and out of the mission in this backdoor kind of way. And that's all we have. Now, what is the advantage to doing this? And this is what's important. When we're on an AFAM mission, we are covered by Air Force insurance. I think it's about $25,000 of death benefit. We have had chaplains killed in the line of duty driving to a mission and getting in an accident. By being signed into WMIRS, they are covered by the same insurance that covers our ground teams, that covers our air teams when they sign into and out of sorties missions as well. So it's really, really important that we find a way for you to at least be logged in to a WMIRS mission when you're going to travel beyond an hour from your home. An hour is considered commute time. kind of iffy whether or not you're covered at that particular time. It's considered in your own home area. But if you travel beyond an hour, then you are definitely covered by the Air Force Assigned Mission Insurance Program. And that's why it is so important. So those are the two most important functions out there. And you see the breaks in it. And it really doesn't log all these, the chaplain mission, this enter chaplain mission status. Again, here's what a brand new mission might look like. State, for me, Virginia. Let's put a base in. I'll assume, let's say I'm going back to Quantico in a different function. Start now and the end of fiscal year. The base POC is chaplain guy. And the phone is, we'll give it a phone of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a phone, base email, cool.guy at Marine Corps Base, Quantico.mil. And of course, me, this might be me. So it's Chaplain Tim Miner, Cap phone, my personal phone, which is at the bottom of every one of your emails to me, and my own email address of that. I would choose a file to upload. So let me go into choose a file. And let me get into documents. Let me get into CAP projects. So here's my AFAM mission paperwork. And they already know that I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to create a brand new mission just so you see the process taking place. So I'm going to upload a PDF file. I'm going to edit. And that's as much as I can do. I can do no more. And so if I go to current missions, let's see if I go down here to yellow. Pending approval, you'll see REQ 213687, pending approval. It's a chaplain mission. I don't even have the ability to put a title into it. And I wait for it to turn green, and then I am on an official Air Force assigned mission. So that's WMIRS for us as mission, for the mission chaplain program when we're on an individual mission. As I said, that's signing into WMIRS on a actual extended mission. How to do that? I'm going to stop right now, and I'll open it up to questions. I'd sure like to hear some of your other experiences, and we're recording them, so you're on the record if you have good or bad experiences about WMIRS. What do you think? For some of the other mission chaplains out there, by the way, there are only 6 of us on an AFAM mission right now, on a chaplain mission, AFAM mission to the DoD, and I can actually filter that out and actually ascertain which ones there are. But there are only 6 of them the last time I looked last month. So what comments or thoughts do you have? That's the WMIRS process. Anybody have any questions or thoughts? Any good or bad experiences with it?
Chaplain Miner, any timetable on when they are going to get these glitches fixed? Because it is creating quite a bit of problem. For instance, when we are doing our chest trainings, those all have to be logged into WMIRS now. But the problems that you are highlighting here get in the way, and we have to always go through the issues of finding someone else outside of our purview who can log us in. So any idea about when they're going to get this fixed?
And for that, I'm the only person who could even begin to be asked that answer that question. Chief, it's back to you, sir. I just threw a curveball at him. Sorry about that. But
That's, my microphone has been muted just for that reason. The reality is we have been working with National, and as we've been working the 80-1, some of these issues were brought up. And so I am continually working at the national level to see what we can get accomplished. But everything is working slowly. I mean, it takes time. Our folk in the IT department are just extremely busy. They're hiring more people. So I'm looking forward to seeing that coming around quickly. But they're aware of our challenges, and others within the CAP community are aware of our challenges as well and trying to help us with that. But right now, I don't have an answer for you.
yeah.
That's the best I can tell you.
Yes, that mission chaplain, or the what we call chaplain mission function, was created in 2017 when on my Quantico mission, I was tasked to go across state to actually deliver a death notice for one of the 7 sailors killed in the USS Fitzgerald accident. The Navy didn't realize that they were sending a CAP chaplain to deliver a line of death notification to an active duty person. The CACO, or the Navy officer at the ROTC detachment at Virginia, in Charlottesville, was the closest Navy casualty assistance officer, who was responsible for delivering it and needed a chaplain. And the Air Force ROTC unit knew about me. That was at the time we were looking at doing ROTC support. They knew about me. So they called me up. and with the Navy chaplain's permission, I said I needed to go down to the University of Virginia for a death notification. And so down I went. Lo and behold, it was an active duty death notification. And let's just say the Navy chief of chaplains went ballistic that a CAP chaplain was delivering a line of death notification for one of the 7 sailors. CAP's response was to create this mission chaplain, and they crammed it in 7 days with all its mistakes, and it's never been fixed since. What you see happening is me trying to make it work, and everybody else and the other 5 chaplains who are using this function are trying to make it work as well.
Hey, Tim, is there a person's name that's associated with all this that we could contact more than Paraguay?
Well, I guess it depends on who the current person at IT is. And quite honestly, I've given up my own personal attempts at doing it, trying to get anything done. Since 2017, my wing called because they were guiding me through this process. And Jeff, you might have some, as our IT guru, you might have some help in this.
Your ultimate contact at National is Kathy Conyers.
Okay.
She's the one she's the director of IT. So ultimately, she's the one that we have to apply with chocolate and champagne.
Well, Kathy has been receiving, she and I have been in conversations, and Jeff has, with my permission and notifying her, that we would be sending her information on what needs fixed for the Chaplain Corps, and Jeff has sent that on up. And so I'm just going to follow up with Kathy and see how we're doing with that. But we are actively working this, and it's like everything else, it just takes time.
Now, I did not get into detail on the WMIRS side because I had not been on the docket on that one. So I was just looking the operational side, that or the normal day-to-day operations, the number of things that we needed to have fixed that have been in the queue for over 5 years.
Okay, I will pick up the WMIRS side of it and talk to her about that.
Right, because WMIRS is not, in many respects, is not part of 80-1. In
Correct.
some respects it is, in other respects it's not. So it's in addition to.
Understand. And for Chaplain Eno, the answer is yes, you can enter in whoever is going to be your active duty or guard handler. Whoever that person is, doesn't have to be a chaplain at all, just an active duty or guard member of the unit that is specifically requesting for your services. So that's where you need to do it. And usually that's the person whose signature is on the memorandum letter that has been approved by the wing chaplain who assigns it, the person, and then endorsed again by the wing commander of approval, with a follow-on letter of assigning that particular individual by the chief of chaplains. So.
When you say
Okay.
wing commander, you mean the CAP wing commander?
Yes, the CAP wing commander must approve it. So by 265-1, it's the wing chaplain makes the request on behalf of an individual. Once the request comes in, that is forwarded up through the AFAM process for a final approval by the chief of chaplains, is the final person. Chaplain Postley, we're still using the that process, aren't we? And still creating a letter from the chief for all AFAMs?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so all of that has to be bundled together because you only get one total document in the chaplain mission. So it all has to be a single PDF document because you only get one document and you can only upload it once. Try
You
to
know, in
change
the,
it.
I was gonna say, Tim, in the old days, it was pretty simple. Our local Air Force bases were excited to know that we had some CAP chaplains that have been trained in military honors. And we did, oh my gosh. One year it was like 112 funerals just for MacDill Air Force Base. There were a dozen of us that took on the task, and we just took a week at a time, and they would just call us and we just go out and do that. The only problem is that it never got recorded, so only the local base commander knew base chaplain knew that we were doing it. So it was
Understand.
much simpler. Just everything was done directly, but it can't be
Yes.
that way. It has to be recorded. So it's
Yes.
how we get all this done. That's where the patience levels are going to have to come in, because we need to have it recorded. They need to know what we're doing, because it's a tremendous amount of work that we're doing for the Air Force and our local communities, and it's got to get recorded.
So what the agreement is for the VA program going forward, once we get that MOU, is we will send forward to the VA a list of all the graduates and all the qualified individual chaplains with their volunteer cemeteries, usually a cemetery within 1 hour of where they live. It can be longer, but you are now volunteering to drive longer than an hour away outside of this commute limit. So that will be a single document, and that document will be uploaded quarterly. And we're not going to use this chaplain mission function that is so badly broken. We're going to use a regular WMIRS mission and create it. One of us will serve as the incident commander for it. We'll upload documents, and every time you get a chaplain gets an email from the VA that asks you to do a funeral with the details, you will forward that on right now to me. I will upload that as a mission document into a regular WMIRS mission. And yes, you will all right now still be trainees in WMIRS, because that's all it says that you can be. But you will, that's at least what you'll be logged in as, and you will, this will be done on a continuous process with one mission all across the nation, just like our virtual incident command post. So that's what we're going to do, and it'll be one mission all year long. And the documents, the list of approved chaplains will be updated every quarter. And every single mission you do, you'll just forward me a copy of your email assigning you to that mission, and that becomes a mission document. You will sign in and out the way I mentioned to you that you sign in and you sign out for that mission. So when you leave your house, you sign into the mission. When you get back, you sign out of the mission, and you are covered by the insurance. And that's how we're planning to do it. So,
Chaplain Minor?
yes, sir.
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that I didn't realize that we had a single opportunity on a document. So on my AFAM mission, the region liaison asked me to load in the MSA that was created. And when I attempted to do that and couldn't, I ended up opening a help desk ticket through eServices that is still showing open and active with no action on it for the last, I don't know, since October. Would you like me to have that deleted or just let it stay there?
Just let it ride. Did it turn your mission off, or did it?
No, no,
Okay.
it did not turn the mission off. Although I understand when you say that now, how I managed to turn it off in the past.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I had one mission approved 3 different times because it kept going off. I didn't realize I was the one doing that.
Yes, when you tried to upload a new document, you turned off your old mission is what you just did. And again, that is one of the breaks in the program right now. So now
All
you
right.
understand. Now you understand what you did. It's your fault. But
Right,
you didn't know that.
and I'll let that ticket ride.
I think that's best. Let's see how long it'll take them. And I'll bet you it'll go all the way through the fiscal year. I'm willing to, if I were a gambling person, I'd say it's going to go all the way through October.
I have tickets that are open that are 5 years old,
All right. Wow.
6 years old, I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, that's
Sure.
WMIRS. And it was really important that we got together and you all see what's going on out here. And Chaplain Camp, you have your hand raised, sir?
Yes. Okay, I've unmuted. Will each, if you are going to do a funeral, will each incident, each event be a sortie unto itself? Or will one sortie cover the entire time?
No, each funeral will be considered a separate sortie. Just like you're about to go fly an airplane for a couple of hours, you're about to do a sortie. But you won't log in and out as a sortie. Just sending me your document and you logging in and logging out will be sufficient. You don't need to brief yourself on a sortie and debrief yourself on a sortie as well. Okay?
Even if I'm using a CAP van?
Well, all right. If you're using a CAP van, and I'm impressed that they would let you have a CAP van. What wing are you in that you get a CAP van that I don't get a CAP van?
Well, I have a very cooperative squadron that lets me take a CAP van to CAP activities.
And you're very blessed, sir. That is an incredible support. And yes, I think in that case, yes, you probably do want to create yourself. You will be logged in as a ground sortie if you're going to use CAP transportation.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Are we permitted, and I would assume that there's probably no funding for it, but if we were to do, if we had somebody who's willing to fly us, or if we are, or if we're CAP pilots ourselves, could we use a C mission, a self-funded mission, if folks are willing to chip in and donate for a funeral case? Normally, you're not allowed to go and do anything on a C mission. You're not allowed to leave and go somewhere. Would it be possible, could we receive authorization to utilize a C mission to go conduct a funeral and then fly back?
Wow. Because you're only going to tell us which airports are 1 hour driving distance away from you, or maybe 2 hours of driving distance away from you. It might be difficult to do that sort of thing, but I suppose it could be done. I will have to ask the question, to be honest with you. That wasn't part of our planning, but I can at least ask the Air Force what they think about that. So.
Or if they want to fund those missions, I'm sure we could get lots of pilots who would be happy to fly
Yes.
those as funded missions.
I appreciate that, but no, there is absolutely no funding at all for our being officiating at VA's cemeteries. That does not exist.
Yeah.
So that's why the small driving distances are involved. So the idea is that we're probably located near national cemeteries all over the country, and we are a resource. Essentially, we are adding 50% more chaplains to the Veterans Administration when we come on board with this mission, hopefully later this month.
My main thought is that for where I am,
Yes.
there's a national cemetery probably within an hour and a half or so during every time except the summer. But in the summer, that drive is probably 4 hours.
Understand.
At some points, and so there could be times where something like that would be beneficial.
I can understand, and when we all get to vertical lifting devices, vertical transportation, that'll make it so much easier, especially if we could have a hover pad somewhere on the cemetery. I understand that, but not right now.
The other question that would be involved in that is, do you have an airport close to that cemetery? And if not, how are you going to get from that airport to the cemetery? A lot of logistical questions. However, another interesting thought might be that if you have pilots that are just looking for reasons to fly to get their hours, I don't know if that would be something that would be worth looking into. But at this point, there is no funding available for us, and we need to be aware of that.
Sure. So what other questions do you have about WMIRS, or reasons why you want to avoid WMIRS? I don't know, something like that.
Chaplain Minor, I have two questions. One, when it comes to creating a memorandum, is there a format that you want to see, and how do we get a copy of that?
It's the last page of 265-1 right now.
Oh, okay.
Yep, just go to the regulation, and the example is right there. Use proper formatting. And by the way, for those of you who have enrolled in the Chaplain Corps College, now you see why you have to learn how to write a memorandum letter. It is part of our duties as a chaplain, and to request our ability to serve. So might as well practice it, and that's your entrance application to the Chaplain Corps College, is writing your own memorandum, properly formatted, properly signed, properly endorsed memorandum letter to learn how to do it. Learning Air Force and CAP communication is part of the course, and that's lesson 1 is your application. So
The second part of the question is, so there's two different things it seems like we're doing, one for an AFAM mission, or then just the VA where we're to be sending you something. And are you looking for the same formatted request going direct to you for a VA? Is that what you're asking for?
it will have to be it will have to happen. Your application to the school itself was a memorandum letter.
Right.
And in that, we asked you to consider what cemeteries would you be willing to serve. We will ask you to go back to that same letter, make sure it's endorsed by your wing chaplain and your wing commander. And that letter is going to be part of the package that's entered into WMIRS as part of the mission documents. So your school application was actually going to be part of this process of creating a WMIRS mission for the VA. The same will be true for the ROTC assignments coming up. We have at least 13 schools that have asked and again, they will be on a single mission throughout the nation for those 13. And again, we'll use the exact same process. Everybody submits a memorandum letter from the respective wings, endorsed by the wing chaplain, endorsed by the wing commander. And that's all uploaded as, fortunately, we can upload multiple documents into a regular WMIRS mission, and that's what's going to happen.
Thank you.
And remember, this is Chaplain Murdoch. Remember, folks, all chaplains are allowed to get this training. The VA, the difference between AFAM for active duty or the Guard or Reserve, and for the VA, the significant difference is each requesting organization determines what the uniform is. And if you qualify to wear the uniform that they are requesting, then you are qualified, trained to do it. Now, the nice thing about the VA is they will accept any of our uniforms, the corporate uniform, the Class A uniform, the Air Force style uniform, or the corporate uniform, or they will accept you going, if you're in a faith tradition that wears clerical garments, they will accept that as well. So that's why we're saying we want all of our chaplains to get the training, so that depending on what the mission is and what the mission requester asks for uniform, we will just deal with that in that realm. So just be aware of that if you haven't let that sink in. This is why we're opening this up to everyone. Any questions on that?
No, sir,
Richard,
but we do
I
have
see
a
Richard
question.
has a question.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I see that Richard had a question, I believe.
Yes.
I think it was in the chat.
His question was about who endorses a region chaplain? Chaplain Pugsley, whose endorsement would go for a region chaplain, please?
The region
That-
chaplain's boss is going to be the chief.
Okay,
It would either be myself and then his wing commander.
Region commander.
Region
I'm sorry, region commander, yes.
yes, okay.
Or if I delegate that to my deputy for personnel. But it would come to my office.
Well, I've sent my application, so I need to adjust that, I guess. I sent it yesterday to Chaplain Minor.
Well,
Did you get your region commander to sign it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm having a little bit of getting the right format. Do you have, I've written my memorandum. Do you then send that to the region commander to sign the memorandum? Or do you have him send a separate memorandum endorsing you?
well, if you look at the regulation, the CAP writing guide that is referenced in my own memorandum letter, there's a link there to a pamphlet which shows you examples. Now, for the college itself, you didn't necessarily need your commander's signature, but for the mission, if and when you graduate and we need you to have a fully endorsed letter, you would return that same letter to your commander. And you'll see that an endorsement is actually at the bottom underneath your signature would come first endorsement, one single line that says, I approve this, and the signature block of your region commander. And then underneath that would be another one-liner with, I endorse this, and the chief of chaplain signing it with his signature block. So that's how we could do, that's how an endorsement normally happens, but you can have a separate page attached, and that has happened as well. Either one is appropriate.
Thank you for the explanation. I have trouble reading, so that is my challenge these days with my eyes, so I can't quite.
That's
It's
okay.
hard for me to read your letters and anybody else's information, so.
That's fine. If you need to talk offline, I'm happy to, we can talk and I'll guide you through the process.
Thank you.
Writing the letter was the first lesson of the whole college so that's why it was done this way, is to give you a skill just by applying.
Tim, in the chat, someone wanted to know about the military honors course. Is it online? And they want to know the hours on that.
Oh, okay. It's a 3-week-long course, and most of the material is actually at your own self-pace. There will be 3 or 4 sessions done, and it will be between you and your cohort leader when you schedule those sessions. There will be a live briefing from the VA. They will talk to you about what the VA, how the VA is structured, and when you show up at a national cemetery, who you're going to talk to, who are the VA representatives that you'll be exposed to and interacting with. And so they don't want to record that. They want to be personal with each and every one of you and answer all your questions about the VA. And by the way, the VA is hiring if anybody is interested, but just saying that. So that really is the process. It will take you about 3 weeks. Some people actually went through all 3 courses literally in a day. They just sat down in one day and did all the material, did all the videos, wrote all the papers, and just knocked it out in a day, and then just attended the 2 or 3 sessions afterwards. Other people stretched it out over 3 weeks. It all depends upon your timing. So, okay. But it is pretty much self-paced material with video and stuff to read and paper to write. So,
I have a minor. I have a
yes.
question. The mission that will be set up, we will receive word what the actual mission number will be.
Absolutely. As soon as we get the MOU from the VA signed off, I will create that WMIRS mission. You will know what it is, and everybody will know how to sign in and out like I just demonstrated to you. So, and if we need to, we'll come back and have another training session or one-on-one, whatever it takes for you to feel comfortable working with WMIRS so that you sign in and out appropriately to make sure that you're covered by the insurance program and that the Air Force knows that you're on duty and you're off duty. That's what this is all about. Okay.
If I may say, with regard to the military honors course, as your chief, I encourage you to take this course. Chaplain Tillery and his team have done an excellent job in preparing us to do this ministry. And I cannot commend them enough. And I highly recommend it to all of you. The materials are, they're very beneficial. I have found in my own life, I have deeply appreciated the information and the interactions with those with whom I've had the opportunity to interact. I think you will find this very beneficial for you. And it is a foundational course. And as we expand the Civil Air Patrol Chaplain Corps College, as you saw in my information in the transmitter, there is much more to this program that is coming. And I am excited about it. I'm excited for you about it because of all that is being developed and how it's going to impact our Chaplain Corps for the future. And so if I can just give my wholehearted approval and support to this Chaplain Corps College and to the honors classes, you will be thrilled by taking these courses, and you'll be thrilled at the quality of training. And that's what we are expecting in all the 24 full courses that we will be working through. And so again, thank you very much, Chaplain Tillery and your team. And I encourage everyone to get involved in this program.
Thank you so much, sir. And one last question asking about other than national cemeteries. And yes, you may be called to a state cemetery as well, a Veterans State Cemetery. There is the provision there that if a funeral home does call the VA for a chaplain support, at a private cemetery. It is not normally done, but the VA, if you are nearby and you so volunteer for that kind of duty, they may ask you to go to a private cemetery for the funeral of a veteran as well. But that is not really part of this mission. Right now, our goal is to cover all the national cemeteries and state veteran cemeteries. Okay.
Well, question, if we are asked by the VA, whether we're at a national cemetery, a state cemetery, or if we go to a private, are we still covered under the AFAM if we're at a private cemetery?
I believe the answer is yes. If you're signing in and out and you have a letter from the VA asking you to do this service. And that is the requirement. That's why you're sending me the email that the VA sends to you with all the details. It's because that is your documentation that the VA has asked you to perform this service. When I upload that into WMIRS, you now have a request from our partnering government agency for your service, and you are still covered by the AFAM and you're covered by the insurance.
Good.
Okay. Great. Well, sir, we're at our 1 hour point and the gavel is back to you for our closing statements. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, once again, everyone, Chaplain Murdoch here. It's been an honor to have each of you on board. I trust that you have found this helpful. If you have questions, feel free to contact us and we'll do our best. And by us, I mean Chaplain Minor, myself. I know there are others in your food chain, if I may, who can probably help you with some of the things on getting in and out of WMIRS, but feel free to contact us and we'll be more than happy to try to help you. Again, I would encourage you to support one another. We really need to recognize that we are walking out of and we are still involved in a national emergency called COVID. We have people that are hurting all around us. And an Old Testament prophet said in Nahum that God is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. And we can be the exhibitor, there's a word for you. We exhibit the holy everywhere we go. And as I was saying earlier in my transmitter, let's go with excellence and expedience, but never forget, we exhibit the holy everywhere we go. And people are just thrilled to have someone to care for them. And that is our privilege. We get to care for others, but don't forget to care for one another. We get so involved giving. Take time to take in and to receive, and go to your spiritual fountain, whatever your faith tradition fountain of knowledge is. Go there and always make deposits in your spiritual bank account, because if you're always making withdrawals and you don't have any deposits, the day's going to come where you're not going to have anything to give. Keep yourself in tune with your faith tradition and your God, and keep yourself able to exhibit the holy. And as we move forward, don't forget to pray for one another, encourage one another, as well as reach out to those in your sphere of influence. We mentioned a few people at the beginning in my prayer. Jeff Williams is recuperating from 2 surgeries. We appreciate the work that he's doing. Remember him in prayer. Others are recuperating. I know Chaplain Holmes was down with COVID. Others were down with COVID. Many of us have had that wonderful experience, and some of us are still working our way through that. So let's uphold one another. And I know that there are families. I have had the privilege of reaching out to some of our Chaplain Corps families who are walking through some struggles, some deep waters. And what a privilege it is to come alongside them and be able to encourage them as they do that. And if you are walking through something and you would like to entrust that to my care, I am more than willing to uphold you in prayer. And I see that as part of my responsibility as your chief, to be your shepherd and to try to help you any way that I possibly can. So please feel free to contact me if you have that need. We will again have more roundtables. I am thrilled that we have this opportunity because my budget won't let me get to each and every one of you, but this sure will. And that is exciting for me. And again, thank you to each of you. I know I've mentioned some folk by name. I know I see many faces of folk that I know and deeply appreciate. I haven't mentioned your names, but I do pray for all of you. And let's take care of each other and let's move forward for the glory of God and to strengthen our nation through our service to God and country with Civil Air Patrol. Thank you for being a part of this. If you have questions, if you have ideas for our roundtables, please feel free to submit them, and we will be more than happy to be able to take that under advisement. God bless you. Chaplain Minor, I think, let me close with a word of prayer, please, all right?
Thank you.
Let's pray together. Father in heaven, again, we come to thee on behalf of those within the sound of our voice and those within their sphere of influence. I would ask that you would meet the needs of each one of us and those we influence. I pray you would meet the needs of every chaplain's family that is represented here tonight. I pray, Lord, that you would just go before each and every one of us. May we exhibit the holy well, and may others see you because we have walked into the room. And then I pray that you would go before our folk that are out on a mission, even right now, give them safety and give them success. We pray for the BOG right now, as today and tomorrow, they're interviewing candidates for our next commander and vice commander. I would ask that you would give them wisdom and that you would put your hand upon the selection of the next leadership team for Civil Air Patrol. Thank you for the privilege of serving. Now use us for your glory. In your most holy name I pray. Amen. God bless you all.
Good night,
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Thanks.
Thank you.